huh? And only the other day, Mrs. Bramble's brother, Major Percy Stokes, dropping in for a cup of tea, had said, I hope you are keeping it from Harold. ମାନେ ହାରୋଲ୍ଡକୁ କଣ ଗୋଟେ ଲୁଚଉଛନ୍ତି it is the least you can do ହେଲା ଆଚ୍ଛା and had gone on to make one or two remarks about men of wrath which considering that his cheekbones were glistening with Mr. Amble's buttered toast କଣ ଗୋଟେ ଖାଉଛି ବୋଧେ were in poor taste ହେଲା ତାମାନେ ସେ କହୁଛି gone on to make one or two remarks about men of wrath which okay were in poor taste but Percy was like that. He said that he liked the sound of his own voice. କିଏ ସେ ଲୋକଟା Percy Stokes, Major Percy Stokes ହେଲା certainly he was very persuasive ମାନେ ମନେଇ ଦବ ଲୋକଙ୍କୁ or sorry Mr. Bramble had fallen in with his suggestions without demur ମାନେ reluctant ମାନେ ବିନା ଦ୍ୱିଧାରେ ହେଲା ଆଚ୍ଛା so in private life he was the mildest and most obliging of men ମାନେ ଭଲ ଲୋକଟା ଥିଲା and always elder to everybody ସେ ଅନ୍ୟକୁ ସବୁବେଳେ ସେ ମାନି ଯାଉଥିଲା ହାର ମାନି ଯାଉଥିଲା the very naming of Harold had caused a sacrifice on his part ତା ନାଁ ବି ହାରୋଲ୍ଡ ଥିଲା okay ତେଣୁ ସେ he was ready to sacrifice when it was certain that he was about to become a father he had expressed a desire that the child should be named John if a boy after Mr. John L. Sullivan or if a girl Mary after Miss Mary Lyot but Mrs. Bramble saying that Harold was such a sweet name he had withdrawn his suggestions ସେ କହୁଥିଲା ଯେ ଜନ୍ ଦବ ନହେଲେ ମେରି ଦବ ତା ପିଲାଙ୍କ ନାଁ କିନ୍ତୁ ସେ ଲାଷ୍ଟଲି ଦେଲା ହାରୋଲ୍ଡ ଓକେ withdrawn his suggestions with the utmost good humor nobody could help liking this excellent man ସେ ସମସ୍ତେ ତାକୁ ଲାଇକ୍ କରୁଥିଲେ ହେଲା which made it all the greater pity that his work in life was of such a nature that he simply had to be kept from Harold. Nobody could help liking this excellent man, which made it all the greater pity that his work in life was of such a nature that it simply had to be kept from Harold. ମାନେ ହାରୋଲ୍ଡଠୁ ଦୂରରେ ରହିବାକୁ ପଡିବ ହେଲା he was a professional boxer that was the trouble କଣ ପାଇଁ ସେ ହାରୋଲ୍ଡଠୁ ଦୂରରେ ରହିବ ନା ସେ ଗୋଟେ ଥିଲା ବକ୍ସର before the Before the coming of Harold, he had been proud of being a professional boxer. His ability to paste his fellow man in the eye while apparently meditating an attack on his stomach, huh? And vice versa. ମାନେ ଦିଟା ଆଗରେ ସେ stomach ହଉ କି eye ହଉ ସେ punch କରୁଥିଲା, huh? Had filled him with a great genial glow of self-satisfaction. Okay. Which comes to philanthropist. ହେଲା ଯୋଉମାନେ ସବୁ ଦାନ କରନ୍ତି and other benefactors of this species. Okay. ତେଣୁ ତାଙ୍କ ଭଳିଆ ତାକୁ ଆନନ୍ଦ ଲାଗୁଥିଲା It had seemed to him a thing on which to congratulate himself that of all London's teeming millions, there was not a man weighing 8 stone 4, whom he could not overcome in a 20 round contest. 20 round contest से निश्चित जितियो है He was delighted to be the professor of a left hook which had won the approval of the newspapers. He was delighted to be the professor of a left hook. ଗୋଟେ କୋଉଥିର ଗୋଟେ ପ୍ରଫେସର ହେଲା newspaper. And then Harold had come into his life. Harold ତାପରେ ଜନ୍ମ ହୋଇଥିଲା and changed him into a furtive practitioner of shoddy deeds. Cautious or secretive. ସେ cautiously କାମ କରୁଥିଲା ଜଗି Before he had gone about the world with a matchbox full of press notices, which he would extract with a pen and read to casual acquaintances. Now he quelled. He showed his fear. Now he quelled at the sight of his name in print. So thoroughly had he become imbued with the necessity of keeping it from Harold. And then Harold asla ta life and changed him into a furtive practitioner. ଲୁଚି କରେ of shoddy deeds. Before he had gone about the world with a matchbox full of press notices, which he would extract with a pen and read to casual acquaintances. So before he had gone about the world with a matchbox full of press notice. Press notice गुड़ा ଗୋଟେ match box ରେ ପୁରେଇକି ରଖିଥିବ ହେଲା which you ଗୋଟେ ବାହାର କରିବ with a pin ରେ ସେ ବାହାର କରିବ ଗୋଟେ ମାନେ read to a casual acquaintance ସେମିତି ଗୋଟେ ଲୋକଙ୍କୁ ପଢେଇବ now he quelled ମାନେ showed fear at the sight of his name in print. So thoroughly had he become imbued with the necessity of keeping it from Harold. अच्छा, with an ordinary boy, it would not have mattered. However, Harold was different. So different thila. Secretly proud of him as they were, both Bill and his wife were a little afraid of their wonderful child. They proud thile plus afraid bhi thile. The fact was, as Bill himself put it, Harold was showing a bit too much class for them. Harold was showing a bit too much class for them. He had formed a corner in brains. As far as the Bramble family was concerned, they had come to regard him as being of a superior order. ମାନେ ସେ ବଡ଼ ଲୋକ ଭଳିଆ behave କରୁଥିଲା. Yet Harold, defying the laws of heredity, had run to intellect as his father had run to muscle. ହେଲା? Defying the laws of heredity. Heredity କହୁଛି ଗୋଟେ ବକ୍ସର ହବା କଥା. ସେ ଗଲା intellect ଆଡକୁ, ମାନେ ପାଠ ପଢିବା ହେଲା. ଆଉ ତା ଫାଦର କିନ୍ତୁ ଥିଲା କଣ ମସଲ ହେଲା, ଗୋଟେ ବକ୍ସିଂ. He had learned to read and write with amazing quickness. He sang in the choir, ମାନେ କୋରସ୍ ଯାଇକିରି ଏକାଠି ବି ସେ ଗାଏ. ତେଣୁ, and now at the age of 10, a pupil at a local private school where they were motor boats. एगो 10 है जमा. Motor boats and generally comported माने behaved themselves like young dons. ହେଲା ये छोटो छुआ गुड़ा young dons. He had already won a prize, ହେଲା, a prize for spelling and dictation. ये पे प्राइज से पाई गलानी ହେଲା. You simply couldn't take a boy like that aside, ताको हिंदे साइड को नहीं परिवनी, कोई परिवनी, and tell him that the father whom he believed to be a commercial traveler was affectionately known to a large section of the inhabitants of London. ତେଣୁ ତାକୁ ନେଇକିରି କହିପାରିବନି ଯେ ହେଲା, you couldn't take the boy like that aside and tell him that the father whom he believed to be a commercial traveler, ଯାହାକୁ ସେ ଭାବୁଥିଲା commercial traveler, ସେ ଆସିଛି କଣ ଗୋଟେ ଅର୍ଡର ନେବା ପାଇଁ, was affectionately known to a large section of the inhabitants of London. ତାକୁ ବହୁତ ଲୋକ ଜାଣିଛନ୍ତି ଲଣ୍ଡନ ହେଲା. ଆଜି young porky, ତାକୁ କଣ ଡାକନ୍ତି? young porky. There is no two ways about it. ଏଥିରେ ଦିଟା କଥା କିଛି ନାହିଁ. You have to keep it from him. You have to keep it from him. So Harold grew in stature and intelligence. तार intelligence बढ़ी चलला, पढ़िला. without a suspicion of the real identity of the square-jawed man with the irregularity-shaped nose who came and went mysteriously in their semi-detached red brick home. ତାହେଲେ ସୋ ये हारोल्ड बढ़ी चलला ग्रीव इन स्टैच्यूर एंड इंटेलिजेंस तार बयस बढ़ला से तार इंटेलिजेंस भी बढ़ला विदाउट ए सस्पिशन ऑफ द रियल आइडेंटिटी ऑफ द स्क्वायर जॉड मैन गोटे स्क्वायर जॉड मैन से तार आइडेंटिटी से अच्छा with the irregularly shaped nose he came and went mysteriously in their semi-detached red brick home. He was a self-centered child and accepting the commercial Babylon fiction dismissed the subject from his mind and busied himself with things of more moment means more importance है and time slipped by time बढ़ चल रहा Mrs. Bramble left alone resumed work on the sock which she was darning. Mr. Bramble left alone. एकुटिया रहीगला Mrs. Bramble. Okay. Resumed work on this sock, which was a darning. For the first time since Harold had reached the years of intelligence, she was easy in her mind. About the future. The week from tonight would see the end of all her anxieties. A week from tonight. Okay. Would see the end of all her anxieties. Right? On that day, Bill would fight his last fight. अच्छा a week from tonight आजिठू गोटे week परे हला would see the end of all her anxieties. किए Mrs. Bramble left alone resumed work on the sock which she was darning. अच्छा For the first time since Harold had reached years of intelligence, she was easy in her mind about the future. A week from tonight would see the end of all her anxieties. ସବୁ anxiety ତାର ସରିବ. ଗୋଟେ week ପରେ. On that day, Bill would fight the last fight. That's the last fight ଲଢିବ. 20-round contest with that American Murphy at the National Sporting Club, for which he was now training at the White Hart down the road. Hello? It went training note here. He had promised that it would be the last. He promised that the house lord. He was getting on. Huh? He was 31 and he said himself that he would have to be chuckling the game before it chalked him. ସେ କହୁଛି ଆଗ ସେ ଖେଳିବ ଖେଳଟା ତାକୁ ହରେଇବା ବଦଳରେ ସେ ଆଗ ଜିତିଯିବ. His idea was to retire from active work and try for a job as an instructor at one of these big schools or colleges. ଗୋଟେ ସେ instructor ରହିବ ଆଉ ହେଲା. He had a splendid record for respectability and a sobriety. ହେଲା. And all the other qualities which headmasters demanded in those who taught their young children to box and to box, and several of his friends who had obtained similar posts described the job in question as extremely soft. So that it seems to Mrs. Bramble that all might now be considered well. She smiled happily to herself as she donned her sock. ତାହେଲେ Mrs. Bramble left alone ସେ କ'ଣ କଲା resume କଲା work. ସେ ଭାବିଲା ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ୱିକ୍ ପରେ ହବ. ଆଚ୍ଛା ସେ promise କରିଛି ଏଟା ସରିବ ତାର. was getting on. was 31 ହେଲାଣି and he said himself that he would have to be chuckling the game before it is chalked him. ହେଲା. The idea was to retire from active work and try for a job as an instructor at one of these big schools and colleges. ସେଠି ସେ instructor କାମ କରିବ. He had a splendid record for respectability and sobriety. ହେଲା. Respectability and sobriety. ଏଇଟା ତାର ସେ ଭଲ ଲୋକ. And all the other qualities which headmasters demanded in those who taught their young children to box, and several of his friends who had obtained similar posts described the job in question as extremely soft. Job ta बेसी hard no. So that it seemed to Mrs. Bramble that all might now be well, all might now be considered well. She smiled happily to herself as she donned her sock. Sock and ये करके देखे. She was interrupted in her meditations by a knock at the front door. He put down her sock and listened. ତଳେ ରଖିଦେଲା ଶୁଣିଲା. Martha the general pattered ଥାପୁଡ଼େଇବା along the passage. And then there came the sound of voices speaking in an undertone. ହେଲା ଧୀରେ ଧୀରେ କହୁଛନ୍ତି ହଁ footsteps made themselves heard in the passage ହେଲା ଆସୁଛନ୍ତି door opened the head and shoulders Major Percy Stokes insinuated themselves into the room